Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Investor More, and I'm standing outside a house flip we have been working on for a little while. We've had some delays on this one that we'll talk about, but as you can see, well, if you saw the other video, which we'll link to below, it has been painted, has a new roof. We've done some interior work on it, but it does need some more finishing, so we'll show you all of that, go over the numbers and different things with this property, and of course, check out investormore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, all of that good stuff. And of course, we appreciate the likes. So if you like our video, it helps us out if you hit the little like button. And we love all the comments that come in, so keep those coming as well. All right, so we bought this house for, I think it was $215,000 from the MLS. This is one we bought right in the middle of the coronavirus shutdown. So I actually never even saw this house before I bought it. But there was an inspection report uploaded to the MLS, the multiple listing service, so I could see pictures, see what the inspector said. So we kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into. Our delay on this one came from our electrician. So that's one of our biggest roadblocks, is finding really good electrician. We have some good ones, but they're very busy. So it takes them a while to get to some of our work. So this one's been kind of sitting for a while. And while it's been sitting, we've had the contractor who was working on our river house rental property. So we can still keep people busy, that's for sure. But this one has slowed down some. So now that we have the electrical mostly done, we can really get back to work on this. And we're trying to decide who to use. We might use a new contractor who's been, we just started with a small job on another flip we're doing. We might bring him here to finish this up. We're trying to figure that out today. So that's always part of the process, trying to juggle all these projects. We have 11 flips right now since we just bought another one yesterday. Trying to juggle these projects with what to do first, who to use, which contractors to put on them. And then also we have the rental properties too, because we have the river house, the 3 compound houses, some other commercial properties that we've all been working on. So there's a lot going on. Now, I know all of you like to see the murder rooms. I haven't been talking about the murder rooms as much lately either, but this is kind of I'm not even sure how to hold this without dropping it into the chamber of death. But here's one of the good murder rooms we've had in a while. So this house has had a bunch of additions, and this cellar, we didn't even know was here. I could see in the inspection report that there was a crawl space, but this cellar was not even accessible because the old entrance was over there in the kitchen floor, and that was an addition. So they covered up that cellar when they put the addition on. So I think you could kind of access it through a different crawl space, but yeah, that's a pretty good murder room, especially since it was covered up so nobody could get to it. So on this house, we've had to do obviously a lot of work. Had hardwood, but it was really beat up. There's some structural issues with the floor too. So we had to cut it up and tear it up. And we'll just be putting probably the laminate down instead of the hardwood. Love to save hardwood, but it just was not worth it in this case. As you can see, kind of how rough it was. And that's where the cellar was, or the stairs going down to the cellar was before. Had to cut a hole there to get to it. Here's where the kitchen was and will be again. We added that window. That window was covered up too for some reason. So you can see all new windows are in the subfloor. We just measured for the kitchen again. We might have lost the other measurements. So once in a while, things like that happen. And then here's the bathroom, which, as you can see, is making progress too. So obviously need to patch up some sheetrock and different things, but that's most of the way there. And then of course, we found there's a little tiny leak here when we got here. One good reason to always come check your properties often, even if not much is going on, or they're just waiting for people to come work on them. You still need to check them to make sure, there's no water leaking. Excuse me. No people moving campers into them. No people moving into the house. All kinds of things that can happen. And speaking of that cough, no, I'm not talking about coronavirus, but I don't know if you can see it. I was actually clearing up slightly. There have been a ton of wildfires in Colorado. So there's just haze and smoke everywhere. You can kind of see it that way. It should be bright blue sky here in Colorado, and it's just haze and smoke, and you can't see the mountains. It's been really rough. There's what, 4 or 5 wildfires burning right now. One of them the second biggest ever in the state. So luckily none of them are close to the river house, but it's very smoky around here. All right, again, here's the other crawl space. And we had to cut a hole here big enough to put the furnace in. So another issue with this house is it did not have central heat. It just had a space heater. So we are going to put in central heat. You can see the vents are cut out. So that is in progress too. So we'll be spending at least $50,000 on this one, just with the roof, the electrical, the plumbing, the furnace, those big things. But it should be a really solid, nice house once all of that is done. And like I mentioned, we paid $215 for it from the MLS. So I made a commission on that as well, since I'm a broker. And probably spending at least $50,000 on repairs, have another $25,000 in carrying costs, selling costs, financing costs. And then we're thinking it will be worth in the $330 range, maybe even a little more. We'll see. So should be a pretty nice house once we're done with it. And then one thing, I know I want to touch on. So I just had that video come out where we talk about getting bids from contractors and making sure that your scope of work is what you decide, not what the contractors decide. And this is a really good example of that right here. So this wall was really bad. I mean, you could move the whole, if I did that, the whole wall shook. It was not structurally sound. It needed to be redone. However, a contractor is like, no, let's just take it out. Just take out the whole wall. It's not structural, I don't think. So we can just take out this wall, have a big open living room. Buyers will love that. And no, sorry, but it's much more valuable as a 3-bedroom house having a bedroom there, than it is having a bigger living room. So that's something as an investor, I know, and if you're going to be an investor yourself, something you should know about your market is what's more valuable, a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom with a bigger living room. And usually, unless your living room is completely just tiny, and this isn't the biggest living room in the world, it's probably 12 by 13, but you've got a pretty big sized dining room here, a good sized kitchen. So it's got some other space in it. It's not completely tiny. If that was your living room, dining room, and then a kitchen right here, maybe, but even then I don't think it's worth it to take away a bedroom unless you had 4 or 5 bedrooms. But if comparing a 2 to a 3-bedroom, there's a big difference in value. So 3 bedrooms are just much more valuable than 2 bedrooms. Like I said, that's where you as the investor need to stand up for yourself, be like, nope, we're making it a 3-bedroom. We're not doing that. Because our contractor did ask us like 4 times to just take out that wall and make it a big living room. We're like, nope, not doing it. All right, so that's the house. We will hopefully have this finished up here pretty soon once we decide which contractor to use, how to move forward with it. We're always looking for new contractors, new people to help us out just because we have so many projects going on. But yeah, we'll get some more updates. Thank you guys for all the comments, the likes. Welcome new subscribers. And yeah, like I said, check out investormore.com. Plus, we have 9 books on Amazon if you want in-depth information on rentals, flips, all kinds of other, being an agent, even mindset. So lots of different books there. All right, we'll be back soon and hope you guys are enjoying the end of your summer.